How's it, guys? So here's an update on the autopilot system for the i6X remotes. There's been a few changes. Let me just explain. So obviously power the remote on first, then the boat. How we set this up is this is bucket 1, bucket 2, or in the camo's case, rear bucket spinner. Lights on and fish finder on. If the fish finder is on, the lights will be on at the same time. It's a dual switch. This will be your autopilot speed. This will be navigate, save, return home, throttle left and right, reverse to the bottom on the trim, and then normally throttle hold will be on this one. This could vary depending on what you have on your boat. Up is battery backup for the camo, otherwise probably not used, and then selecting your points left and right. Okay, this is obviously to trim your boat, trim key. Okay, this is to turn the light for the panel on. Okay, and if you push the trim, you'll see it moves. Okay, cool. Then obviously our keys are here as normal. So let's go through it. So in order to select your water, remember this is navigate, save. So no other keys are in play at the moment. So we need to first, once you power your remote on, the water, the area will be 0. There'll be no area selected. You have to select it. So you push it all the way down, and we use our left and right. You can see that that number will move on the area. Okay, so I want to go to area 1 because that's where I am at the moment fishing, right? So area 1, it can be delayed, so just give it a moment. Okay, so area 1, and we go all the way up again. Okay, there's our points of interest now. So now our points of interest can be adjusted with the same key. So we need to save home first always. Okay, put home in front of the like 20 meters in front of your lines, left or right of your swim, depending which way the wind's blowing your lines. Bit of common sense. Okay, so we need to save a home point on 0 always, and what we need to do is we need to perform an action first. So we have to drop the bucket all the way down. It saves. You can see that the meters there went to 0, so our save was successful. Up. Same thing for a point. So we select a point, point 1. I must do an action first. Drop bucket, save. You'll see it goes to 0. So now we've got points saved, and so you go on through your points of interest. Okay, great. I want to now navigate to that point. You move that into the middle position, and then the boat will start navigating to that point of interest. Now this is what's different to the previous versions. Normally you had to record what you want to do on that drop, but in this case, while you're navigating to the point, the boat's going to start going. While it's on the way there, you can say, when you get there, I want you to drop the bucket and spin the spinner, whatever you want to do. Okay, and leave them active. When the boat arrives, so when it arrives at target, it's going to perform those actions, and then depending how the boat was set up, so when I set your boats up, I tell you how I'm going to do it. Either it has auto return on or off. I prefer it off at the moment with a new setup, because what it will do now is when you navigate to target and you don't select, if you forget to select what must happen at the target, the boat's going to stop there for a few seconds, or 10 seconds or whatever it may be, and it's going to wait for you to tell it to do something. But if you don't, eventually it's going to return home, and you may very well have not forgotten to do this, and it's going to return home with your line attached to the boat. Okay, that's with auto return on. So remember, with it on, you must select an action before you get there. Okay, with it off, it'll wait there indefinitely until you say do whatever you want to do, and then all you need to do then is you can put it out of navigate and just say return home. The boat will then obviously return home with the return home key. Okay, so that's the difference between auto return and auto return off. I prefer to have it off because some guys are fishing braid, lines take longer to sink, so I prefer the boat to stand out there a bit longer. and then return home like that. Okay, so that's the difference. And obviously when your boat's going, this is going to be your autopilot speed. Normally I set it for the first 5 meters to be slow, and then it takes off according to what that speed is set. And same story, when it gets to the target, it's going to slow down and then get to the target. Okay, so that is your autopilot speed there. Once again, make sure, it's very important to make sure your boat is running straight for the autopilot to do less work, and that is trimming your boat with the trim key. So if your boat's pulling left, you're going to trim more right, and vice versa. If it's pulling left, it's pulling right, you're going to go more left. So that's what trimming the boat is for. It's not a foolproof system, as said in the past. It wants to get within a meter of a target, and let's say you've got a very windy day, there's a lot of line drag, you haven't trimmed your boat properly, it may miss by 0.5 meter, right, or 2 meters. The system's not clever enough to know that it's now going to turn around on itself, and it might pick up the line. So what the boat will do is, if it's missed by like 1 meter or so, it's going to try and turn the boat around and then come back to the point. Some common sense is required. So if that's happening, you can see that's happening, you're in your zone, you're within 1 meter or 2 from where you want to be. You just cancel your autopilot, cancel it, drop your bucket, return home. That's all you do. So some user intervention is required at times. On the home screen, we've got satellites, signal strength, battery indication of the main boat, pen light indication of that there, and then obviously your distance to area, your point of interest, your water that you're in. Speed and course do not work yet on the firmware. We're working on that still. All right, so that's everything in a nutshell. I think I've covered most things. If you want to get into the menu, preferably don't go into the menu, because if you change anything inside the menu itself, any settings, you risk undoing all the calibrations that were done. So to get into the menu, you hold the OK key right over here, and then you can scroll up and down. But like I said, rather don't play with settings in the menu. Everything has been preset for you. So I'm going to just cancel out of there. Yeah, enjoy.